When we talk about health and aging, especially past the age of 65, we must approach it with honesty and compassion. The truth is, the body you carry today is not the same body you had at 30 or 40. Your heart, your muscles, your joints, and even your hormones have all shifted with time. That doesn't mean you stop living fully. It simply means you have to live more mindfully. And one area where this mindfulness is deeply important, though often brushed under the rug, is in the realm of sexual health and self-pleasure. For decades, you may have viewed masturbation as harmless, a natural release, a private part of human life, and in many ways it is. But here is the hard truth after 65. What was once harmless can carry risks you might not expect. The aging body processes stress differently. Your heart may not pump as powerfully. Your blood vessels may not expand and contract with the same ease. Your muscle recovery is slower, your hydration levels lower, and your energy reserves not as limitless as they once were. So when you engage in self-stimulation, especially excessively or without awareness of your body's limits, you may actually be putting strain on your system in ways you never imagined. Let's take the heart as an example. During sexual arousal, the body goes through physical changes very similar to exercise. Your pulse rises, your blood pressure spikes, your breathing quickens. For a healthy 25-year-old, this is nothing. For someone in their 70s with even mild cardiovascular disease, this can be a shock to the system. In some cases, doctors warn it may even trigger dizziness, shortness of breath, or dangerous arrhythmias. That's not to create fear, but to highlight the importance of respecting the body's changing capacity. What you once did without a thought may now require more care, more balance, and more awareness. It's not just the heart. Older adults are also more prone to dehydration, muscle strain, and fatigue. Something as simple as not drinking enough water, combined with physical exertion, can leave you feeling unusually drained or weak afterward. Some even report headaches or tension that lingers longer than it once did. All of these are signals, little whispers from the body saying, slow down, pay attention, treat me gently. Now, let me be clear. This is not about demonizing the act itself. Sexual expression, in whatever form it takes, remains a natural part of being human. But ignoring the reality of aging, pretending your body hasn't changed, is where harm can creep in. Too often, people in their later years carry a youthful mindset into an older body, and that mismatch creates unnecessary risk. The key is not denial, but awareness. Not shame, but wisdom. I want you to think about this: your body is like a long-time companion. It has carried you through decades of laughter, heartbreak, love, and work. It has been your partner through triumphs and struggles. Would you disrespect the companion by ignoring its limits? Or would you honor it by listening carefully to its signals, adjusting when necessary, and giving it the care it deserves? When you honor your body in this way, you're not giving something up, you're gaining longevity, vitality, and the chance to experience more years of meaningful living. So the next time you find yourself in that intimate space, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, how does my body feel today? Am I giving it too much strain? Am I respecting its limits? That awareness alone can save you from harm. You don't need to stop living with passion or abandon your desires. You simply need to carry them with wisdom. And here's the final thought I'll leave with you. Longevity is not just about what you eat or how often you exercise. It's also about how you treat your body in the quiet, hidden moments no one else sees. Every choice you make, even in private, shapes the health and dignity of your later years. So let's not approach this subject with fear or shame, but with reverence. Treat your body as sacred, and it will reward you with strength, clarity, and more time to experience the fullness of life. Because in the end, survival is not just about avoiding danger, it's about choosing, day after day, to live wisely. And that choice, my friends, is always in your hands. When we speak about the health of older adults, the conversation often stops at the physical, the heart, the muscles, the bones. But what many forget is that behind every action we take with our bodies, there is a story happening in the mind and the heart. Masturbation, especially after 65, is not just a physical act. It carries a deep emotional and psychological weight, and this is where many seniors unknowingly harm themselves. Not because of the act itself, but because of the guilt, the secrecy, and the self-judgment that often surrounds it. You see, aging is not only about wrinkles or slower steps. It is about identity. For so long, you may have seen yourself as strong, desirable, full of energy. And now, with age, society tells you that desire no longer belongs to you. It tells you intimacy is for the young, that passion is behind you, that you should simply accept quietness. But your inner world doesn't turn off like a switch. You may still feel desire, you may still long for touch, you may still find release through self-pleasure. And when that natural part of yourself collides with society's stigma, the result is often guilt, shame, or even confusion about your own worth. The danger here is subtle, but powerful. Guilt is corrosive. Shame eats away at the spirit. And when a person in their later years carries those emotions quietly, it does not just affect the mind, it weakens the body too. Science has long shown the link between mental stress and physical decline. Stress hormones rise, sleep becomes shallow, immunity drops, and suddenly what was once an ordinary habit becomes a hidden source of suffering. What weighs you down emotionally, over time, finds its way into your health. Think about how loneliness magnifies this. So many older adults live in silence, with little emotional support, afraid to admit what they feel. That isolation makes the shame heavier. Instead of being a natural form of self-expression, masturbation can become a secret burden. A place where a person battles their own self-worth. And when you begin to question your worth, you start dimming your light in other areas of life as well. You avoid conversations, you withdraw socially, you hold yourself back from joy because you feel something about you is wrong. But nothing about you is wrong. Desire is not wrong. Longing for connection is not wrong. Wanting release is not wrong. What is wrong is carrying unnecessary shame into the later chapters of your life. This is why awareness is so important. After 65, the body and mind are deeply connected, perhaps more than at any other stage. When you approach intimacy, whether with a partner or yourself, it should be grounded in kindness, not criticism. When you honor your emotions and allow yourself to be human without judgment, you actually protect your health. You create a state of inner peace, and that peace is what stabilizes the heart, supports sleep, strengthens immunity, and prolongs life. So, the real warning here is not just about the act itself, but about the mindset you bring into it. If it is driven by loneliness, hidden shame, or unresolved guilt, it can harm you far more deeply than any physical strain. But if it is carried with self-respect, balance, and awareness, it can be part of a healthy expression of your humanity. Let me leave you with this: aging does not strip away your right to be whole. It does not take away your right to desire, or to seek comfort in your own body. But it does call you to live more consciously, to stop hiding, to stop judging, and to start loving yourself in the fullness of who you are. Because when you remove shame from your life, you don't just lighten your spirit, you free your body, you extend your vitality, and you give yourself permission to live these years with dignity and joy. And isn't that what we all want? Not just to live longer, but to live lighter. When we arrive at the later chapters of life, one of the greatest lessons is learning that balance becomes more important than ever. The truth is, after the age of 65, your body speaks a different language. It whispers instead of shouts. It signals in subtle ways that it needs care, moderation, and awareness. This is especially true when it comes to sexuality and habits that involve your physical energy and emotional state. Masturbation in itself is not the enemy. It is the lack of balance and the neglect of your body's changing needs that can turn something harmless into something harmful. For most of your younger years, you might have approached intimacy without much thought. The body was strong, recovery was quick, and the mind didn't dwell too much on consequences. But as you grow older, the body changes. Blood vessels are more sensitive, circulation slows down, and the heart works harder than before. Energy is no longer limitless. And while sexual expression is still natural and even beneficial, the danger arises when it is done excessively, compulsively, or without attention to your health. What once was simple can now tax the heart, strain the prostate, or interfere with your sleep cycle. This is where wisdom must step in. Balance means listening to your body and respecting its new pace. It means understanding that pleasure must walk hand in hand with self-care. If you find yourself drained after, if you notice changes in your mood, energy, or health, those are signals asking you to slow down. Too often, people push through those signs, treating their bodies as if they were still 25. But your body at 70 or 80 is sacred. It demands gentleness, not force. And when you give it that respect, it rewards you with longevity and vitality. Medical awareness also plays a vital role here. So many seniors hesitate to speak openly with their doctors about sexual health, fearing embarrassment or judgment. But silence can be dangerous. For men, prostate health must be monitored. For both men and women, cardiovascular health is critical because sexual activity, even self-pleasure, affects blood flow, heart rate, and blood pressure. Ignoring these realities doesn't make them disappear. It only hides the risks until they show up in harsher ways. The most empowered step you can take is to bring these conversations into the open with your healthcare provider. By doing so, you remove secrecy and replace it with informed choice. And let's not forget the emotional side of moderation. Compulsion at any age is a sign of imbalance, but in later years it can become even more isolating. If sexual release becomes the only source of comfort, the only way you soothe loneliness, or the only escape from daily struggles, it stops being a healthy act and becomes a crutch. Moderation, then, is not just about frequency, it is about intention. Are you honoring your body, or are you escaping from yourself? That is the deeper question. And answering it with honesty can protect not only your health, but your sense of dignity. So the key is not to suppress your sexuality, nor to indulge it blindly, but to carry it with wisdom, to integrate it into a life where movement, nutrition, rest, relationships, and inner peace all work together. When sexuality is placed in that balanced frame, it strengthens you. It energizes you. It becomes a gift rather than a burden. The closing truth is this: longevity is not built on extremes, but on balance. You don't have to deny yourself, and you don't have to overindulge. You simply need to listen to your body, to your emotions, and to the quiet wisdom that comes with age. Because when you master the art of balance, you are no longer controlled by habits. You are guided by consciousness. And that, more than anything else, is the key to living not only longer, but fuller, freer, and with peace in your spirit.